Welcome to Wednesday Comics.
You are listening to Wednesday Comics, brought to you by rootsoftheswampthing.com, Rainbow Comics, Cards, and Collectibles, and WednesdayComics.com.
Keep turning those pages.
Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my left, we have Eagle the Living Planet himself of Wednesday Comics. That's Alex.
Wow, hello everyone.
And ahead of me here, we have Drax. Garrett, how you doing? And I am your Sylvester Stallone of the Wednesday Comics podcast. My name is Marvin. Sylvester Stallone. What's the name of that movie?
He's like the leader of the Ravagers.
I have his name right
I
here.
can't even remember saying his name.
Staykar Ogard. Sly Stallone didn't know he was in that movie.
Really?
It's kind of a surprise.
No, it wasn't. I didn't see him in any.
There's a lot of press release about it.
Oh, really?
He's going to be in that third
I don't
one
read any of
confirmed,
that.
so...
He's in the third one. No, he wasn't in any trailers or anything like that. So that's why I didn't know. We'll speak about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at the end of the podcast, the movie review. So stick around. Going to be interesting from what I've heard. But before that, so this is the last podcast before SuperCon. Is that correct? Yes.
No, we still win next week.
When did the episodes come out, Alex?
So SuperCon will still be going on, douchebag.
On Sunday. Are we going to be there on Sunday?
No.
Saturday.
So yeah,
That's when the boys in blue are going to be there.
Who's the boys in blue?
Us.
I think it's us.
I think we're going to be the boys in white.
No, we got blue mics.
We're not bringing the mics, I thought.
Who knows? I don't know what
we
we're
should
doing.
just bring them with us just to talk, pretend to talk on them.
I'll take them out of this thing. They're not hooked up to anything.
Pretend to talk to people.
That's not a half bad idea. The shirts. Speaking of the shirts, you got the shirts. How do they feel on your body?
I haven't
tried
worn it
mine on.
yet.
Explain it to me. What? You
I
haven't
know
worn
it's
it?
not Gildan, because I made sure when I ordered
You didn't put it on. Just
Every time you say
Yeah.
Gildan,
No.
all I think about is Rodan from Godzilla.
Imagine if you wore Rodan's skin. That's what it feels like.
It's a blend. It's 50% polyester, 50% cotton.
What? Gildan or this what we got?
The shirt that we
Hopefully
got.
the shirt we got.
Gildan's 100%
Not the
cotton.
Rodan.
Doesn't breathe. That's what Gildan doesn't do. It's hot. Heavy.
Holds in that heat.
Shrinks.
Drinks? Gildan does?
Yeah.
Actually, I have this t-shirt I got for Junior Achievement.
It was like 20 years ago.
Just paid for it. I didn't help the kids out, though. It was supposed to be a bowling thing. I didn't go to the bowling thing. Just paid money. So basically, I paid $25 for the t-shirt. But that's Gildan. And doesn't feel good. Never worn it. Well,
I've gotten a couple. I wore them once. I haven't worn them again. Got
looks
suckered
like-
by the design. That's it. I mean, I never wore them again. I should just make them into a quilt. And
So
give 'em to you.
SuperCon will be there. What do you want to talk about SuperCon? Come up to Wednesday Comics. We'll talk to you about it. Secret Empire. Read 2 issues. There'll be free comic book day issue out by then. We'll talk about it. Actually, that's a good idea because we won't be able to talk about it on the show. So it'd be fresh in our minds. No. It comes out this Saturday.
Because free
We'll talk
comic
about it
day.
next week then, probably. Man, everything is off today.
Steel trap, not working.
You want to talk about the button? Button should be in by then. We'll talk about the button. We'll let you know what's up.
No, it's actually got delayed a week.
What
Did it
Finish
really?
the story because Josh Williamson's doing the script
Did it really?
because of the whole Tom King. Josh, yeah, it's not coming out next week.
Jeez. Well,
Kind of depressing.
So now the
That ruins
Flash
that.
The
is
whole-
not going to be with Batman. I mean, the Flash is going to be on the same week as Batman starting. that
so
week.
it's going to be off sync now.
Yep. Unless
You know,
they
the
first
skip
one?
another
Is it
week.
the first delay?
So now
so.
the one loss that DC has against
Besides
them.
Doom Patrol.
Oh, well, they don't
Well, I
count.
mean,
They're on
Rebirth.
young-
Rebirth
yeah.
was on a roll for a second there. What else we get that's ending that next week? Nothing really. No, that's it. 2 big things.
Yeah.
No, not ending. Secret Wars is starting up, and the button will be ending.
I mean, Secret Empire.
Secret Wars. Of course.
Whatever.
That cloud.
Secret War, Civil War, whatever they want to call it. Secret
Oh my
Empire.
God, that's what it is. It's secret. And oh wait, never mind. It's
You want me to write the reboot for Marvel?
do it?
I'll just make an issue that every page just says Secret Wars Cloud, and then it'll be $6.99, 20 pages, and then
I want it to be just blank pages of just clouds.
last page will be like you'll see silhouettes of the Avengers, and it says to be continued in the rebooted Marvel Universe.
By the way, I lied on the forecast. I said nothing. I was like a medium week. It was a lot of books again, for me at least.
Oh, this is a cheaper week for us.
Oh, really?
For him and I,
Yeah.
at least.
It was.
I think next week I think is expensive.
I was in 60s. Next week's I'm back in the 80s.
Oh, you were 60s. I paid 71.
I think I'm.
Yeah?
Holy shit! I actually had less than you.
Yeah, maybe it's me too.
See that? Throw
Just a tear to my eye.
I did picked up a couple of things we normally don't get. We'll talk about one of them later on today. Bane Conquest, number 1.
Oh, I see.
And also, what else did I pick up?
To be fair, I don't
Secret
normally
Empire.
get that.
What cover Secret Empire did you get? Regular?
Regular.
Oh, by
I
the
can
way,
waste X amount of dollars.
I'm not going to bring it up during
not
the review.
waste.
Not going to bring it up during the review. Let's talk about it right now. Secret Empire. So they have like a special cover that's not their shit cover, and then inside it's just the issue that comes with their shitty cover, and you can tell because it's a cover, and then there's an ad right away. You know how it is for their normal,
which
issues?
is stupid.
So they just put another cover over their other cover. It's like a book cover basically, or a dust cover.
I got instantly pissed off as soon as I turned the page, and first thing I see is a fucking ad.
So it's like they made them probably, and then they're like, "You should probably put a good cover on this."
Okay, because that threw me off when I looked at it. I thought, what the
That's
hell?
what I
This
mean.
has nothing to do with anything.
They probably made them first, and they're like, "You should probably put a good cover on this. We're paying $5 for this." They probably put them on afterwards.
right.
Made me laugh, and I was like,
So we're probably paying an extra $1 or $2 just for the card stock.
it was bigger actually. It seemed like it was way longer.
Say
than
read.
normal.
I read. I mean, I'm not a fast reader,
It was
but it
pretty
took
long.
me a while.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more later.
But Nick Spencer's pretty
seemed like it
wordy.
was-
in the
Yeah,
first
that's the
place,
thing I
so-
couldn't really tell. I was
Yeah.
go through and count them. I couldn't tell the dialogue, or there actually was more pages, but it felt like there was more.
Yeah.
After a while, when you pick up a comic, you go, "Ooh, this one's bigger."
Right.
You know,
And I was surprised they didn't throw $5.99, $6.99.
that's our mutant power. Nobody even knows that. Comic book readers
We can weigh them.
can feel slight differences in weights with their hands.
Especially when they charge you more for less. Because you're like, this doesn't feel like that extra $1.
Because was Walking Dead bigger this week?
It had more pages, yeah.
See?
That's Image, though, so they can kind of
No,
play
but I
around
know,
with
but
that.
I know you can feel the difference. And that's something that this is like a mutant power that we all have.
And all the
What can we
ads are in
use
the
it?
back.
Can we use it in a practical sense? What kind of job can I get with this? Can I weigh candy at the store and tell you how much it worth?
We already know your thing with dates.
bulk candy.
so-
Can I weigh bulk candy and then tell you how much it?
One, that's not sanitary. To hold it
Way
in
out.
your hand.
Well, I would
Well,
put it
it's
in a
wrapped.
bag.
Oh, I see.
Usually it's wrapped.
May I put it in my
Depending
hands?
on the company.
Okay, now the whole time we've been talking about sizes and wrapping stuff, now it's starting to sound like we're talking about dicks.
If somebody was holding Swedish fish, you wouldn't eat Swedish fish out of their hands?
Squish fish?
Swedish.
Of course. Dude, you don't have to wash your hands. I'll eat it.
I like
Gives a
Swedish
shit.
fish. I just don't like the little candy dust that's around the Swedish fish. I need to like...
Oh, I see. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Even now I'm shivering. I'm drinking hot coffee. I need a nice, thick, wet coating around them. That's how I suck my Swedish fish.
Oh, Jesus.
I wish
Why don't we
people
get
could
right
see
into it?
I
It's
wish
gonna
people
be
Talking about the candy.
it's a late
fucking
night already.
perverts.
We just saw Guardians
I
before
wish people
this.
could
so.
see my face. With
Late night already. This is the usual time we record.
Brought to you by rootsoftheswampthing.com, your definitive online source for all things Swamp Thing, featuring news, reviews, and a comprehensive chronology of the Swamp Thing. All in Files #1 is currently sold out. Issue 2 is in production. Make sure to follow John on Twitter at DCWorldSwampy or on Facebook.com/rootsoftheswampthing. That is rootsoftheswampthing.com for more of the green. You want to get into it?
Yeah, we can go whenever
Batman
you're ready.
22, The Button Part 3, written by Tom King and also Joshua Williamson. Those credits are getting confusing now. Artist Jason Fabak. So what do you guys think? Batman 22, Button 3.
I liked it, but okay. Now this is getting like they know we want stuff, and so they're keeping us at arm's length, giving us like a millimeter at a time.
I was re-listening back to our podcast where we talked about #1, and you were like, we should get something Watchmen really did. Like, they should show us something at least. And I was like, they're probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they are now either.
You got to keep giving them taste so they want the whole meal.
But if we're halfway through Rebirth and we haven't seen one Watchmen character, what are you going to do this event in like 2 months and call it good?
You won't see, I guarantee you won't see a Watchmen character until like the month or two leading up to the actual event. And then they'll be like,
Yeah, I
boom.
know, but if we have a year left,
Well, yeah, no. So you got
Yeah, but
10
that
months.
suspense is there for you.
In 10
at
months,
least.
you'll see a Watchmen person. Not now. You got to give them a little pay. If somebody just right away gives you a whole steak, then it's over.
I don't know. I feel like we'll see Dr. Manhattan next issue. I'm calling it.
Now
You want to know why? Because what happens to Reverse Flash at the end of that at the first issue? He
So
dies.
you think they're going to go... So
they're following him on the cosmic treadmill.
So that was the end of the issue.
Right.
Flash and Batman are on the treadmill that Flash
Reverse Flash,
recreated in
you haven't seen anything like me before. And it's like, well, we know what happens. You get killed.
It could possibly, or they'll just show Batman and Flash seeing something and be like, oh my God. And then get
Find out in
transferred
10
back.
months.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't bring Jeff Johns out of the crevice for just a little flirtation.
So he wrote this probably a little while ago.
Yeah.
It's just a story by him and they're doing the thing. He didn't come and actually do the story now. He probably wrote the same time he wrote the other thing.
He's the brain trust. He wrote it all, and now he's like, okay, adapt this as best you can.
I know, but
it's
you
not
said
me.
bringing him out. You didn't bring him out. He did all that before he left, and now he's doing his thing. And they're just working off his story. So,
I remember when he was tweeting that he was writing again.
you know,
Probably writing his name. Oh, this feels nice.
today was a day where a lot of things brought me to the brink of shedding some tears. There was a part of this issue
Yep.
when his
Should I say Vision and just go, bro?
I was gonna text you and go, I bet Marvin teared up at this point, or was going to.
Well, when they're going down there and they go, why are we being quiet? And they go, so that we don't wake the bats. And then he looks at his dad. He goes, sorry, Dad, I fell down here. He goes, no, it's okay. He goes, and then he tells him how Wayne's always stand back up. Like that
Rise.
page, I was like, yeah, right, Wayne's rise up. And that page, I was just like, not the page actually, the page later or 2 pages later when Thomas is like, don't be the Batman anymore, be happy.
Yep.
That part really didn't do anything for me. But that page
Him
when it was actually him
apologizing
and
for
his
falling.
dad. Like he's a little kid. And he's like, sorry, I fell down. Like he just, sorry, I failed basically. And says like, it's okay because we rise up from that. And like that whole thing, I don't know why anything where a kid is teaching, a father's teaching a kid a lesson
A kid
like
is
that.
teaching. Sounds
Done.
that sounds like a 50s commercial.
Even though
where
there's
dad's
no way
beating
in
the shit out
hell.
of the kid.
There's no way Bruce Wayne's going to be like, oh, my dad told me not to be Batman.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'm
you
done.
guys. He'll be like,
Yeah, he's gonna get back.
I'm still Batman.
Fucking not Batman anymore.
Although it's fun to see them fight side by side.
That was cool.
It's at least going to be now that he'll have conflict being Batman for a little bit. It'll be a storyline. Tom can do storyline out of it.
Or he'll start killing because his dad kills.
oh,
He knocked the gun out of his dad's hand. Get
Like,
that
Dad,
shit
we
out of
don't
here.
kill. And he's like, God, this gun would make my life a lot easier.
Dad, we don't kill, and then his dad dies. He killed his own dad.
He didn't say we don't die. He just said we don't
But
kill.
I mean, like his dad could have helped him.
well, somebody was holding that universe intact. One of the Ultimate.
Not anymore though. Gone. Flashpoint. Basically, that issue was like,
He was like,
hey,
fuck
we're
it.
in a Flashpoint.
You guys are figuring out too much.
Well,
erase that from the
that's the
memory.
sad thing is that when they built this built this trip for us to go say hi to Thomas, and then just to obliterate it.
Well, it can't have any validity or weight if you can constantly go back to that one place.
I know, but it'd be nice if I get that. Now, but the thing now, it's finalized. Unless
But it was also like a payoff from Flashpoint. Like that's what Thomas wanted. He's like, get rid of this universe, and then we go back and they go, he never got rid of it, and so now they're actually Flash is like, I was
Right.
trying to. Like this is not an alternate world. This is an alternate history.
So there's one stipulation I had about this issue is when he said, it's been months since I repaired the timeline for Flashpoint. That's bullshit. He even explains in that first issue in the Rebirth DC special that he's like, it's been 5 years of 10 years
But
of
no,
history
but
we
that's
lost.
when they repair the timeline is when Wally came back.
He didn't repair it. Wally did.
Yeah, so it's
but
been months.
he helped repair it by touching Wally.
Yeah, it's been
By
months.
giving a handshake.
Hey, bro, I could save
But
you.
he said I fixed Flashpoint, and Flashpoint was fixed way before that, not Rebirth. So
But it sounds like Wally was a
Open to-
residual Flashpoint.
Overall, like this issue, I would give it about an 8.
I was going to give it a 7. The art was really good,
I'll say the 8.
but honestly, first issue was 100% better. There was just excitement in this.
I think overall the whole thing's still good,
Yeah.
overall it's an 8.
but yeah, it kind of like it does feel like what you said. It's like, or like what I said. It's like small pieces of a bigger story that we know about. So we're getting little payoffs. So it doesn't feel as grand as if we were reading something that, when we read that event.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's necessary that you do it little by little, I think, at least.
Yeah.
But
I guess it makes sense though.
I wish there was a little more story.
If the Watchmen are as powerful as they claim to be, then it makes sense that they're in pretty good control of what's going on. That they're not just going to go, oh, here I am, look at me. It's like, no, fuck you.
There's some people that gotta
Earn
come
this.
back first, though. Like
I'm waiting for the comedian to come back.
At first, I
dead.
thought that dude.
Aren't they all fucking dead?
no,
There was
Dr.
one
Manhattan's
comic
still
I
alive.
was reading in. Some guy was smoking a cigar, and I thought it was him because they
Dr.
haven't
Manhattan
revealed
and
who he is.
Ozymandias are still alive.
Like I said, they're all still alive. Remember the DC Rebirth special? It's a quarter to midnight.
I don't believe that. I went back and looked at it. I don't believe you.
The quarter to midnight? You didn't see that panel?
Oh, no, I agree that the Doomsday
He's
Clock got
replaced the watch.
reset.
Huh?
He just replaced the watch. He just fixed the watch.
No, fixed time. He's not. Yeah, right. They're not just doing those two. That's past midnight.
Well, Night Owl's not dead. Neither is Silk Spectre.
Oh yeah, they leave. They just take off.
Well, they're going banging somewhere else.
There's only comedian and Rorschach. They're the only ones that are dead. Oh, and
At midnight.
Holland. What's his name? Hollis.
Tom.
What's the old man's name? I know.
Yeah, he dies.
I can't remember what that Night Owl's name is. Obviously didn't care enough about
Hollis
him.
Mason.
Hollis Mason. That's his name. Hollis.
Nice. Way to go. So I keep you around.
You know what though? You know what this kid does, and I mean, I normally do go back and read Watchmen like once a year, but it's like right now I'm like, maybe I should read it right now. It is a little bit being like, God, I want to just read Watchmen.
Yeah.
I know this is probably the worst thing in the world to say. I'm not a huge fan of Watchmen.
The actual story or the before Watchmen?
No, before Watchmen.
Hey, I'm going to throw it out there to all our honesty. If you want the entire before Watchmen set, I'll give it to you for $100. You heard it here first.
Jesus.
But Watchmen, you don't like?
I don't know what it is about that. Like the book was good, but I think it's
45 weeks, Alex.
I kind of enjoy the movie ending more than the book, like with the giant octopus.
Oh, I
Jesus,
like the
you
giant.
too?
I like the giant monster.
You do?
Well, next week we'll have Marvin Solo show.
You like the giant?
both
Yeah, I
did.
do. I do.
We
It makes
both
more
got
sense
fired.
to me. It makes more sense to me that you would have, well, I guess spoilers for Watchmen, that you would have.
Yeah, you have 20 years to catch up.
Well, still people get into comics already.
So,
What are you talking about?
Watchmen's been around for a long time. If you don't know, I mean,
So
there's
no,
spoilers.
so fuck new readers, right? No more new readers.
Well, Marvel says fuck current readers for new readers.
So same thing.
Yeah, but
for
we don't want to live with the Marvel way of life.
That's true.
Fuck everything that doesn't make us money.
It makes more sense that you would have an external third party threat that everybody can focus their hate on and be like, we're going against this guy rather than Dr. Manhattan, because you need that thing. Like you can't just do that and then that's all. You constantly have to keep that going. So it makes more sense that you be like, there's aliens, and then he can constantly like fuel that with like, oh, I see an invasion, keep feeding it. But if as long as it's him, I guess he could always like do stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a better story if you make it external. Well, we'll see. But Batman 22,
Sorry.
yeah, it's good, but it's like the part with the Amazons and the Atlanteans like coming there, and I was like,
It seemed impressive that they knew where to find him.
Yeah, it seemed like just a tool to make it so that there was a time clock, and then all of a sudden that's when the universe is ending, stuff like that. And it's like there's a lot of things that were like convenient to just make the story have like a ticking clock and be like, let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. And then the thing was broken, he's got to do it, right? So I don't know. When it ended the last issue, I thought we would get a slower issue with him like talking to Thomas, like working things out.
That's the sad thing is that
Figuring
the
out,
Flash issues should be quick. The Batman ones should have been more of, here's this backbone you need to have.
Yeah. So it was okay.
You know what was good this week? Paper Girls number 14, written by Brian K. Vaughan, art by Cliff Chang, and colorist is Matt Wilson. I liked this issue a lot.
Yeah, it's
It seemed to actually go somewhere.
Really?
everybody came back together.
Yeah.
We
Did you
are
read it?
I did. I think it's starting to spin its wheels.
I agree that but it's been spinning its wheels for a while now.
I
Actually,
actually felt
since we
that way
got-
until recently. Just as like,
I
I feel like I'm watching Walking Dead season 2. Like nothing's happening except for just like really low key plot changes.
Yeah, but it's character.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Like the whole series really doesn't have, because we even talked about it. Like, what's really the plot? Like, we don't know. The whole time we've not known the
Brian
plot.
K. Vaughan may not
Exactly.
even
It's
know.
been more about these girls the whole time, and so
these
issues.
I like it. I really like it. But like this issue, just someone just like, can we get somewhere?
They
Like,
got back together.
But I felt this one, at least at the end of it, where the three mud dudes get the kid.
Stole the kid.
At least
Yeah.
there's some. I mean, now we're getting somewhere instead of.
Plus,
Who's
they
the
rescued
kid?
the lady, so now they have a new friend.
Well,
They
it
have
sounds
a new,
like all three of them banged Whoppy
right.
or whatever her name is, which.
I don't know if you should phrase it that way. They raped her.
So they raped her, but now I'm just saying, scientifically speaking, not all three of them can be dad.
No, but how's she gonna know? It's like basically a fable, being like, now they all fight to see which one's the dad. Because obviously the one that's the strongest had the strongest seed. They get a new friend from the future. 2016 she was born.
Last year.
So what does that make her? She's probably about, 2030? So she's from the year, she traveled back from the year,
I thought it was like 2032 or something.
Oh, did she say?
I don't remember. I think she said a specific date.
And she's like an explorer, so and then she realized she's just not the first one that's ever been there, so she was like, oh, damn it. But now she's going to help them get out of there, basically. At least we assume. I don't know if she's bad. She could be pulling... That's what I thought from the beginning, though, that she was there to get them. But I guess not. She was just exploring. Yeah, there's not really much plot in this book, but I do like the characters a lot, and I do like their interactions a lot. I do like that the art's amazing. In this issue, I thought it was great. But yeah, it's good.
I feel the art's been good in every issue. There's just nothing spectacular. This one didn't have anything super like, oh my gosh, mind-blowing.
It's one of those books that we get that's like almost a solid 8. So I wouldn't drop it ever because I enjoy it, but it's never anything where it's like something huge happens or something like...
It's not a saga.
It doesn't surprise me to read it. Nothing surprised me in this issue, but it was good.
I'm sticking with a 7. I don't think I've ever given an issue Paper Girls a 7.
You're right. You're right. It's not a saga.
Saga's got a point. Saga's got this awesome flair, and I don't know if it's the art or if it's...
I think that book wants to be more like serialized, like... like each one ends on a cliffhanger and stuff like that, kind of like how Lost was. Where this one is more like...
I feel like what should be the cliffhanger is kind of a boring cliffhanger. You're
in what, Saga?
I'm like, no. I feel like I'm stuck in season 1 of a 10-season show. Because like there's more questions than answers.
Season 1? You just said season 2. Walking Dead.
He feels like he's in season 1.
Season 1 and 2 of Walking Dead is basically one season.
Season 1's good at Walking Dead.
That's good.
2... We're on the farm for 23 episodes.
6.
26 episodes.
6 episodes. They were 6 each, the first 2.
Well, it felt like 23 for Marvin.
Each season was only 6 episodes.
For the record, I don't watch the show, so I don't know.
Yeah, so 8 for me.
I'll give it an 8.
No.
Morrow. Garrett's...
You know what's going to break that book out of the water is Bane Conquest #1, written by Chuck Dixon and art by Graham Nolan, the original creators of Bane.
Thoughts?
It wasn't the best #1 issue I thought ever.
Second season of Walking Dead's 13 episodes. Go ahead.
13? It is?
Yep.
I don't believe that. Well, really? I thought the first 2 were 6 each.
I agree. It was fine. It wasn't mind-blowing for me.
I wanted more Ruthless Bane that we just had in Batman.
You didn't like it?
It's definitely... trying to pull something from the 80s and put it in our era.
The art I thought was weak. That's not... Like, I've seen Graham Nolan. It just seems
he's modernized his art.
Yeah, he changed his style. I don't like it. It just... I don't know. It seems so loose. So loose and like...
There's one spot where Bane's face was crooked.
Bane's costume in this is horrible. I hate it.
I hate when they have the mouthpiece open.
Yeah.
I want that fucking
And he's got
mask
that
on.
like this metal thing. And it's just like... Put him in the freaking Lucha Libre costume.
I like the story, though. Like... I have complete faith in Chuck Dixon.
I thought Bane was good in this issue.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, of course he's going to know how to do Bane.
I thought Bird was a fucking moron, and usually he's like Bane's right-hand man for a reason.
He's supposed to be just as smart, I thought, as Bane.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I was like, kind of like...
And Trog was fucking...
They're like playing up their dumbness.
It was like Drax times 3.
Yeah, it's like what I said before. Like, they just became dopes. Yeah. Because you got to like have a story where... Bane's the one being like the successful one, being like the guy in charge, and they're the dope to counteract it. But it's like, no, you can have multiple smart people on a fucking team.
Actually makes more sense to have smart people on a team.
I don't know if this was the right time for this book, because literally like we just got done with Tom King's Batman vs. Bane saga, and then like already Batman's like somewhat the cliffhanger. Not really at the end of this issue. Like you see him jumping over rooftops and stuff. Like he's got an eye on Bane. It's like
I must have missed
we were just
that.
here. What?
I must have missed that.
Oh, yeah. When Bane's like freaking out above him, you see Batman's cape billowing as he's crossing over a bill. You don't see Batman, you see his cape.
Oh.
I also thought the pacing was weird in this issue. It seemed like they were like trying to get through like 3 issues of story in one issue. Be like, you know, if there was half the time where I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I wonder if this is in continuity. I wonder if it's not because like he's like my city and it's like Gotham, but it's like, dude, you're just... If this was in continuity, your place is Santa Prisca.
And he just wanted to...
And Batman just beat the shit out of you, so...
So it must take place before. So Osito showed up. Obviously, no extra point for me.
Shower in that
Showed up in
glass
the
jar.
shower.
Fucking
and then-
glass case.
And then he makes the there's a line of dialogue that's the best line of dialogue I read in comics this week. Where we're both hermanos. You're the only person I trust. Osito. Of course.
Of course.
My
Yeah,
excitement for this issue was a 10. My rating
I don't know if
for
I'm
this
not gonna get any more.
was a 7.
Oh, really?
That I'm done.
Oh, I have more faith in Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan than that.
It wasn't for me.
I like Bane too much to drop this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that me too. But like, I don't know. Like, I have a feeling that, like I said, maybe it's not for me. I think the things they're going to play up on Bane on this, or maybe what I don't like about Bane.
Now,
Just
let me throw an
physical
issue
fitness.
at you that I think you'll respect.
What's up?
I want a whole issue through the eyes of Osito. It's a silent issue.
Plus, he's only got one eye.
He's only, you only see half of what's on the...
If the cover for number 2 is just Osito, I'm getting it.
Okay.
If it's not, I won't.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be.
The last issue should have burning flames around the glass tube, and all you see is the reflection of Osito's
I
eye.
think this issue is 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6. I'll continue.
Did I say what I gave it a 7?
I don't remember.
I don't think you did.
Oh, well, 7.
Because you said that 10 was what your expectation was, 7 is what you got.
Excitement,
Okay.
It was a 6. It was like there was good things about it, but I have no like excitement to read any more of this.
I don't feel the fear that I felt when I read Nightfall.
Yeah.
Like, even when Bane was talking about breaking the bat and what he's going to do and
You seem more focused.
yeah, there was a point to what he's doing. This one, he just seemed...
Well, yeah, because he plans everything out. In this one, there's a point when they're telling him, "Hey, hold up a second," and he just rushes in and attacks these guys. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Bane would be like, "Yeah, what's the plan? What are we gonna do?"
Right.
Rather than just be like, I'm huge, and then he gets his
beat the shit out of him.
they beat the shit out of him. It's like, well, really? It felt like it more for the sake of the story to have him get captured,
Right.
rather than being like, that's Bane.
Yeah, again, I'm just thinking, I'm putting that up to poor timing. Like, I don't think of Bane as ruthless after how easily he got manhandled by Batman. So,
Well, to be fair, I would think Bane would be pretty tired after beating the shit out of Batman.
I don't think though, like you said, I don't think it takes place.
No,
after
yeah, it must be.
It felt.
before.
It
I think
felt
this is
so
its own thing.
Own thing. Yeah, I felt like it's
Yeah.
right. I don't think it's out of continuity, but I just think the place in continuity is not now. It's like in the past a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see when we see Batman what costume he's wearing,
Right.
because Bane was not wearing the same costume he was.
Oh my god, what if it was Cop Bat? Holy shit. I would love to watch
What?
Bane beat the shit out of Jim Gordon as Batman.
That'd be kind of sick.
What did you call him?
What I think?
You said, I think you
Bat
said
Cop?
Bat Cop.
Yep.
He was called something else. I don't
I
know.
think you call him Cut Bat.
No, Cop Bat. Cop Bat. I'll enunciate better.
Well, it's something that was pretty big. Secret Empire #1, written by Nick Spencer, art by Steve McNiven, cover by Mark Brooks. I just want to point that out because he's doing all the covers. We get the first issue. It doesn't say how many pages. I was going to tell you, but I guess it doesn't say here. But we get the first issue of Captain America, Hydra taking over the United States, not the world, because people are leaving the United States to get out of here. You think, though, that if you were a fascist dictator, take over the whole world if you get that much power. But I guess just the U.S. So what do you guys think of this? For the first issue into it, do you feel like...
Not as good as issue 0.
Yeah, 0 was way better. That's what I wanted for this issue, is more of that.
Yep.
And I didn't think that Secret #1 got good until Cap started showing up in it.
You want to know something that actually I read, because if you know how there's a jump in time, Cap's already taken over. Everybody really believes in Hydra. They think they've been lied to all their life about the other way of life. We already got a resistance team. Here he has his whole team together.
Don't cry, it's okay.
So,
Cap will be good again.
Vision.
like, how did that all happen? How did he get his own Avenger teams that has Odin's son, all these people? Like, it's all like jump in time. I read that the Free Comic Book Day issue is going to be the issue
fill-in.
that explains all that.
that.
So it's like, once again,
Why would you put this out beforehand?
once
Yeah.
again, that issue's going to go back and be like, but it's like that. I feel like I do like that it's just jump in time and let's get right into it. I did think, but I was also like, if you're going to have moments that mean something, why have it out of the actual series?
Right.
Or I understand there's a Free Comic Book Day issue coming out, you want people to go get it, but also, like, does it work for the story to take it out of the main series?
Yeah, why wouldn't you just plan for that to come out free comic book day, and then your next week have issue 1.
See now, I wish I would have known that because actually I would have probably waited and not had us talk about this because that makes me because that was the one thing that really ruined this book is there was shit that has happened and I'm being too picky. I want to know some of these things. This bugged me.
It didn't bug me that much. I just feel like I understand it bugs you because you need to know how Captain America puts his pants on in the morning, but
one leg at a time.
Not like the rest of us.
I just jump right into my pants.
He's above all right now. But I was just like, I don't know. It felt like it was a nice device for the plot for me at least, and then to figure out, be like, then they're going to be like, oh no, we'll tell you what happens. We're just going to tell you in this other issue. And then I was like, why? Just either take the risk and skip forward, or just tell us beforehand. Like, why are you going to do it?
Right. Are they going to have those
random
editor's
issue?
notes in the graphic novel? That's what I always think of.
I don't know.
Is like, how do you play this off in a trade?
That's what I mean. Are they really going to have the free comic book day issue like after issue 1 then?
Yeah.
I would think. Or are they going to show it beforehand? Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, let's get back to this issue though. Resistance fighters. What do you think of this underground group fighting Cap? We got Hawkeye, the Thing,
Black Widow,
Miles Scarlet
Morales.
Witch. No, Scarlet Witch is part of the Bad Avengers. Miles Morales, Hulk,
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, Ironheart, and Tony.
Which is weird.
I like all the adult Avengers, all the kid ones.
I did like this part of the story, but also I was like, this feels like Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's
Exactly
what happens in
is.
Civil War. It's like they have resistance fighters fighting.
Oh, and Vision. She's also on that team.
Oh yeah. So that was like, I'm pretty sure he did the story before, and I don't. And once again, I should just not follow him on Twitter. Nick Spencer is talking up like it's like this original creative idea that like he came up with, and it's necessary to tell in these times. And it's like, pretty sure we told us before though.
Well, and it's going to end with some kind of Tony Stark AI beating the shit out of Cap and like trying to remind him who he is. Like it's Civil War 3.
The art,
return of
the art I really
First
liked a lot.
Iron
Steve McNiven did a great job in this issue. I'm excited to see what Sorrentino does in his issue whenever it happens. I thought he was doing the whole thing. I guess not. He's just
I know,
doing,
it's like we lost him off Old Man Logan for one fucking cover. Like, that doesn't make sense.
I actually think he's
Was
using
that what that cover was? The other one, the greenish one?
The inside cover where he's it's Cap shield with the
Oh, really?
that's Sorrentino.
Wow.
I don't know about
How long did that take?
Did you
me
feel
to
like
draw?
this issue we were talking about beginning of the show? A lot of words. I don't know if like there's really going to be a different way to tell a story. Because I read right after this, Walking Dead, I believe. No, Paper Girls, and I was like, Brian K. Vaughan knows how to tell a story, but just panels by using the medium rather than in Secret Empire. It was like,
Time to explain
let
it
me
to
explain everything to you.
I read how long it took me to read Secret Empire is how long it took me to read the other 4 books I had to read.
Yeah, then like I said, I don't know if I know it's a little bit bigger, but also it's like, man, each page is like
A novel.
yeah. I do like the part I did like actually before we started, the very beginning part with the Inhumans and like how life is for people and stuff like that. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's
Kind
like
of gives
this-
you context about the world.
yeah, it's almost like this alternate history thing where like, like Man in the High Castle when it's an alternate history thing when, what if the Nazis won World War II? It's kind of like that. And actually I do like that. Once again, not unique or original at all. But still, I was like, that's
But
pretty cool.
it was scary.
I like that kind of stuff.
I think it was scary, though. And when you meet that in the Inhuman who makes, I assume was his brother, right? Makes the lunchbox using
make
his
anything.
power.
So what's his
That's his
power? He
mind
just
of?
sees something and he can...
Yeah, it sounds like, he goes, I shouldn't have looked at that in the car, then throws it up.
It's badass.
So obviously he can't control it.
So bad.
Yeah,
It
you
sounds,
just-
but it sounds like, I'm
it sounds
guessing
like a
he
horrible
can,
power.
I know. I'd go look at like
You look at a car and you're just
Right.
like, oh shit.
well, I assume he can not stop it once he's initialized and going, okay, I see this, I'm going to make it. And I guess for
I
me,
don't
it
think
was
so because he couldn't stop it in the car.
but he goes, I shouldn't have looked at it. Like, I shouldn't have started this in the car. That's how I understood it.
I think if he sees something and he wants it,
Yeah.
it comes out.
Okay.
Right.
So when he sees like a steak and he's like, God, I wait till I have that.
That's
he throws
ironic.
it up and then he's got to eat it again. By the way, the way his jaw unhinged before it came out, I was just like,
Disgusting.
wow, I would like that power. Like then you can shove a whole pizza in your mouth.
Ugh.
I already do that.
Why would you? They wouldn't even enjoy that. That would.
How do you know what I enjoy?
You'd get one taste of that whole pizza.
I could put a whole pepperoni pizza and a pineapple in my mouth. And
I assume that you still have to chew it.
that was obviously.
if you unhinge your mouth, I mean,
Although, yeah,
your
I
throat's
guess-
going to be bigger.
I suppose.
The whole reason that you have that tiny hole at the back of your throat is because your jaw's.
You know what I would do? You know how on the back of
To be fair, I can fit more food in my mouth than I can swallow at one time.
I know, but if you swallowed a whole pizza, what would be enjoyable about
guess
that?
what? I wouldn't have one serving of pizza rolls. It says 6 is a serving. Guess what? Whole box.
Whole box?
All at once.
Cardboard?
Oh, don't even cook it. It'll cook in my stomach.
That is a shitty power, though. Like, imagine you're just like...
Whoa, I don't know about shitty. Like, food-wise, yes.
No, not
Everything
this
else,
one. I mean, the actual
fucking
inhuman.
great.
His inhuman power.
What? You could have anything you wanted.
But it gets all dirty. Did you see how gross it was? Like, imagine you're like,
maybe
oh
it's like a
shit, I
protective
wish
layer.
I had
Batman
Action
would-
Comics #1. It comes out, it's fucking ruined.
I wish I had Action Comics #1 in a board and bag.
Clean it up.
Switch bags, done.
Excuse me, sir, did you spit on this?
Hey, it's better than not having one at all.
I guess.
Huh.
Overall, though, I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it wasn't like I thought Zero was like that should have been that was a real like starter,
That
and
should
then
have
this was
won.
like, and I think you kind of ruined that momentum by being like, boom, here's a start.
Yep.
4 years later,
I guess for me, that was the thing is that how many years?
I don't know if it's 4 years. I'm just saying
I thought, holy shit, 4 years
it feels
passed?
like it's a year maybe, like
Yeah.
because they were putting shit in the water to make people drink it to like think they were almost part of Hydra. So I assume that takes a while to like make her
Get the whole
compliant.
universe.
And then the sad thing is that this event is going to bleed into other books.
Yeah,
I saw that in the back of
I
this issue.
I also saw in the middle, like Weapon X is already having a crossover with Totally Awesome Hulk. So it's like,
That's too bad.
But that's its own thing. That's not anything to do with Secret Empire.
oh really? They put in Secret Empire thing.
I think it's just
I know.
a preview
It's just
for other
it's
stuff.
a preview, yeah.
But at the end
So
of
do
this
you
book,
think these bad Avengers, which was Odin's son, Scarlet Witch, Deadpool, who else was on this team? Vision, original Vision.
there's
I thought
someone else.
Lady Thor was too.
No, she wasn't there. I know for sure.
Hmm.
Because I was like, why is he back and she's not there? And somebody else too. Anyways, they kill that monster. But I was thinking, I was like, they talked about that part where people drink water and they think they're part of Hydra. Do you think they drink water, or is there something else going on there?
I think there's maybe
definitely
something else
something
going
else.
on because you've got one of the most powerful mutants apparently mind controlled. I mean, it's got to be mind control. I can't imagine it being water.
I think it's the thing with Doctor Strange, to be honest. You know, they got him trapped in that
Dark hole,
dark hole, whatever.
negative zone.
Yeah.
I feel like he's being controlled to
Maybe.
control
Oh,
them
that's
or
possible.
something.
Yeah. Then they have the X-Men have their own little sanctioned land. So they're free. Is that what I always understand? They're free, but they like give them a little part of land and be like,
Right.
stay out of it. And they're like, well, we don't want anything to do with it.
Civil War.
They just got Central Park. Get the fuck out.
So there's a lot of interesting ideas. They're not 100% unique or original, but the way they're executed, hit or hit miss for me. So I was just like, man, it's like a 7.
Yeah, 7 agreed.
It's a lot of promise to be like, where are you going to take this? You can take it down a road that we've seen a million times in other kind of stories. Like I said, like Man in the High Castle. Or are you actually going to do something, or Civil War, or you could actually do something different with this.
I'm hopeful for new. I'm expecting the same.
Art's great, though. Great lineup of artists coming up. So if you want to get it for the art.
All right.
Art was, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not a big fan of McNiven, but
You don't like him?
Dude, he's like a classy Wolverine artist.
I know he did the art for Civil War, and I love Civil War, but
That's also maybe why he run. We also like Cap's face it a couple times. I was like, I wonder if he just took some old panels from Civil War and put them in
Yeah.
there.
I don't know. It didn't boggle my mind. You know what else didn't really boggle my mind? Bullseye #4, written by Ed Brisson, art by Guillermo Sana, and colors by Miroslav Merva. It was. Have you read?
Are you talking
tried it?
about Bullseye #4 where Bullseye's in it for 4 pages out
Pretty
of
much,
20?
yeah. Where it's all about the boss
Yeah.
coming to fight him or beat the shit out of him.
So the crazy fucking serial killer boss guy reminds me of the guy from The Fix,
Kind of.
except the guy from The Fix, like, he can play nice and then act crazy as shit. Like, this guy's just fucking mental. And, like, I don't know, I'm kind of sick of the ego. Like, he's basically like, he acts like Bane.
Kind of.
How into himself he is in his fucking tiger.
Maybe I don't know a lot about Bullseye. Is he really that chatty?
I didn't think he was. Is he really
does
chatty?
jabber a lot? Okay.
I mean, I know he's an ass.
I get he's a
Shows you
dick,
under your
but
skin.
he just, oh my God, he jabber. It was like reading Deadpool. And I like Deadpool a lot. Oh, even though I don't get his book anymore, or any of the books.
Yeah.
I was just going, dude, shut up.
Well, I know he's trying to get under that, and I did like the ending where he's talking to that lady that wants to kill him because he killed her husband.
Yeah.
Because like he was like morally sound, not morally sound, but he was like making a good point. Like, are you going to waste your time killing me, or are you going to take down these guys that can threaten for a long time to come?
Yeah.
He's like, you know what's going to change?
Me won't bring your husband back.
Right.
So.
You know what's going to change? Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. It was good. I could probably give it a 6. I'm in it for the last issue just to finish it up.
I'll give it a 7. I've enjoyed it up. I mean, this issue is probably the weakest, I think, out of all of them. I know you didn't like 1 that much.
I didn't say 2 and 3 were great.
Yeah.
1 I thought was a piece of shit, but the only reason it bugged me, he kept throwing paper clips at cars.
Yeah. He
and
was
then
basically
killing
DC
everybody.
Sniper, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm excited that this one will be over soon.
Did you read? I know this is off topic, but Electra 3.
No, I.
Oh, that's
dropped
where you
it.
dropped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dropped it when it got good, according to this guy.
Eh.
I understand dropping.
So Bullseye, it's, for my understanding from you guys talking about it, up and down the whole thing, right? Because what you said, 1 you
Overall,
didn't
I'd
like,
give
and
it
then
a
2 and 3 you
6.
liked, and
Yeah.
then 4 again went down.
I get life's a roller
What is it,
coaster.
5 or 6?
5.
So it's got one more chance.
No. Is it
Wait,
5?
what?
Is it 5?
5's the last issue.
Okay.
So if 3 out of the 5 are good, is that good enough to pick up the whole thing, you think?
Well, considering I've got 1 issue left, yes.
I would not
I know, but
recommend.
But for fans,
Yeah.
honestly, unless you really, really like Bullseye, I wouldn't get
How's
it.
the art?
Art's pretty
Hit
good,
or miss.
actually.
See, for me, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's really good. Other times it's kind of like...
What do you think of the writing overall?
No, it's too disjointed. It's
Is this
all
the
over
guy who's
place.
writing Old Man Logan coming up?
Brisson?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, really?
And with Mike Diodato doing the art.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still going to
I
give
think
that a
it's-
try, but it's
I think
like...
it's these characters I don't care for. The only character I know from this book is Bullseye, which
Right.
usually would be fine if I only know one character. But I think the way he writes Bullseye bugs me. That I'll have to
Yeah.
see what his Wolverine looks like. If his Wolverine's quippy, then I'm going to drop it.
It's more of like plot progression. It's just all over the fucking place. I think he's still got a couple more. He needs more time to practice his craft. So, but who doesn't need to practice their craft? He's been doing this a long fucking time. We got Walking Dead number 167, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Charlie Adler.
I forgot what the other book was we were going to talk about.
Well, you didn't read it.
I don't read it, yeah.
All I gotta say is, holy shit, what a gut punch this issue was. I thought that was super
She's been
intense.
around for a long time.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like this issue, and I actually read the other one and this one back to back.
166 and
Yeah.
then 167.
So it's like, you know what the thing is? So she was a hero going out. Actually, you know what? I do really like this issue a lot. But Rick, I was just like, so Rick kills, what's her name?
Sherry.
Sherry. Accidentally pushes her,
Right.
breaks her neck. Maybe a little more careful, Rick. You only got one arm.
Right.
Still breaks her. But I was just, what a shitty 2 days for Rick. He kills somebody.
Yeah.
Like this faction of his group already wants to leave. And then he kills their leader, technically.
Who Dwight has a thing for. Now he's fucking pissed.
The only person of that group that was working with him, that's his, he likes her. And so now he's got to deal with that shit. And then Andrew comes in and it's like, I was bit in the neck by a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
And basically you have a whole issue of her dying in bed.
And it's like, it's crazy how much it like, it's literally, it's not like an actual death from somebody we know, but like when you read this comic for as many years as we have been, I know we kind of fast forward a couple of years out of that, but because we read the trades, but still, like she is such an impactful part of the story, especially in Rick's life, because Rick and Carl are the main characters, and so is she. And for her to just be gone, like it was really tough to like handle. Like Andrea in the show, I couldn't wait till she got fucking killed off.
Yeah, but Andrew in the
this-
comics, if you just watch the show, it's like basically at that point, it's like if Michonne died. Because
Yeah.
like she's been around from the beginning. Not really the beginning in the show. So maybe not Michonne, but like somebody's been around. Maggie, but that's been around from the beginning. Or Carol, one of the two. It's like if she died, like she's been around from the beginning. She's always been there for them. She's like, she is actually in the comic. Andrew's really up like a badass. Like she can
Right.
do anything. That's why she died eventually. She was saving some people, saving Dummy from, like, once again,
Who's Dummy?
Eugene.
Yeah.
I was going to ask who's Eugene.
He basically makes all their weapons for them.
Okay.
But it's like an issue basically of mourning. Like and it's very interesting to think about that in a world where like when you get bit, you basically can get an infection and die.
Right.
That you still like it still hits you because especially this team, like they haven't lost somebody in a while. And these last like what has it been like a month? This Western War stuff like this has been like back to what they used to. Now they're like basically back to the beginning. It's like they're all fucked now. It's back to the beginning. They had this nice little thing worked out, and then now their leader is
back to probably being all fucked up
and all
again.
fucked up again.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, if you read the back when Kirkman, he was like, I had to. Like, the story was, you can't have them be happy because then the story's not going to go anywhere. You have to be like, make the hard,
you have to service the story,
You made the hard decision to be like, to serve.
Question for someone who doesn't read it. Yeah. So, Sherry is a character who died.
She leads the faction called the Saviors, which used to belong to Negan. And basically, they have always been at odds with Rick's group.
So, okay, so this isn't part of his group.
No, he killed the leader. No, I mean, they were basically, think of them as mercenaries, sort of. They were affiliating themselves with Rick's group for the time because they had shelter and food.
I mean, I realize I'm almost probably 150 issues behind where you guys are at.
Well, yeah, but basically, it's like...
But she wasn't one of the original people that I would...
No.
Okay.
She's been showing up recently, but like, basically there's like, it's murky waters with all the factions. And basically, Rick, by killing the leader of this group, pissed off that group that's already been on the edge with Rick. And now, hopefully not another war, but there's going to be some shit going down for sure.
Now, Dwight's on his team?
Well, Dwight has been supporting him, but Dwight liked the girl that Rick
That's
killed.
the reason why the faction wanted to leave is because Dwight was doing everything Rick wanted to say.
Right.
Like, we're in our own people.
Is it Andrea? How'd she get bit?
She was saving Eugene, and she got bit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Horde.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Never mind then.
So, Rick was literally like freaking the fuck out, and then Andrea walks in and is like,
like at the beginning of this whole time jump thing, when they had this nice little community, one part of that I liked actually made me happy and it made me smile was Carl started calling Andrea mom.
Yeah.
Like he was over his mom's death. He accepted that him and Andrea, like that's what made his dad happy. And like he was like, Mom. Like he's like, that's my mom. And then in this issue, it's like, now your mom's gonna die again.
Oh fuck.
And it's just like that he was fucking erect too.
Yeah,
like that's basically second in charge. Like they got nobody now. Like they got Negan. That's who they got. That's why you need to keep that guy around. They got Negan and Michonne. Michonne basically said in this issue also she came up to Rick and was like, I'm here as long as you need me.
Exactly.
That page that there was 16 panel grid, right, where everybody comes and says something to Andrea. When Negan showed up, I was like, that's like quintessential like Negan. He shows up and was like, hey, you're a badass and you're hot as hell. Like I would bang you, and he's like,
clearly you're dying.
He's like, they didn't want me to come here, but good on you. You did good. And it's like, so he's like, nice. He's still, I mean, even when like the Savior saw him, they're like, why's he with you in the last issue? And it's like, he has changed. And like I said, we said last time we reviewed this book, it's like, he has changed. You have to give him a chance. He has improved otherwise. In like multiple situations, he could have fucked them up in
real bad.
And in every situation, he proves, no, I just want to survive. And you guys are my best shot, so I'm with you.
Right. The part where, like Andrea's pep talking Rick, and then she does die, and you're just like, all right, Rick, like, let's go. And then right away, Rick looks up, looks down, crawls into bed with her, and is like, I fucking give up. It's like, God.
And then she turns to a zombie and he can't shoot her.
He basically fights with her forever.
I thought he was going to die. I thought maybe he would get bit, and then something else would happen. Because I've been waiting for a while thinking that Rick's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to be issue 300.
They keep teasing it so much.
Or 200 or whatever.
Like even during the Western War, he almost died a couple times. But Negan saved him. But it was like...
So who killed her?
A zombie bit her.
No, I know. But now she turned into a zombie, right?
He couldn't shoot her with a gun, and she got on top of him and was going to bite him. And so he grabbed a knife off the floor that fell down and stabbed her in the head instead. And then he cleaned off the blood and made her all nice and left her there.
Would have been easier just to shoot her in the head. A lot less personal.
But I think when you love somebody, you don't want to see their brains all over.
The knife wasn't being like, well, I'll stab her instead. He was like, I'm going to fucking die. Here's a knife.
No, I get that. But she's a zombie. Shoot her.
She's been with Andrea longer than he was with his wife originally.
Right.
And he even tells her, he's like, I've never loved anybody as much as I love you. And she's like, you got to keep going, though.
Shoot her.
When she's in bed and she sits up the first time and yells and she's like all sweaty and shit. Did you think she was a zombie at that point? Like when
no,
she first
because like it was too soon. Like she was.
Really? It scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh fuck, she's a zombie already.
When obviously when you see
over?
the deep breathing, it's always the sweats and the deep breathing where it's like, you know, when they're groaning, that's when you're like, okay, fuck, here it comes.
I thought it was good. It's a nice place to end. Is there a break now, or is it going to keep going?
No, I think it's going to keep going.
It's a nice place to be like, where do we go from here? And I say that all the time with Walking Dead. I was like, I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I never know. And every time I think I do, I'm always like, well, I guess I need it goes in different. And that's just a testament to be like, it's 167 issues in, and it's like still fresh and brand new.
This is the first time, I don't know if ever, there hasn't been a letter axe. It was all just one letter from Robert Kirkman.
One page from Robert saying,
and you can tell how much he cares about these characters.
He outlined this
story.
on a plane and made the decision, and he cried on the plane, being like, she's got to die.
Yeah, it's the only way. So I give it a 9. I don't give it a perfect 10, but it's up there.
It's a 9. Yeah, it's a 9. There's been issues where it's been like 10.
Yeah.
I think there was even like a silent issue that was like, that's like the most perfect issue of Walking Dead. But this one, yeah, it's a 9. Yeah. It's good.
0.
Man, Carl's fucked up.
I bet that book's going to end
Rick's
with it's after Rick dies, it's Negan and Carl.
That's what I mean.
They're gonna buddy
there's
cop
other
the shit
leaders
out of
that could.
Yeah.
Rick right now is like so old. He's so broken down. It's eventually he's going to become a liability, and they're just he's going to die.
Issue 200. I know it.
That's what I mean. It's like at some point, like Robert was saying in the story, at some point it makes sense in the story to be like, he would die.
Yeah.
And Robert said, actually, you don't know. That's a part I wanted to bring up. There's a little meta commentary from Andrea saying, you know what I figured out when I got bit? That we're just people too. We're not invincible. It's like we're all just people. And I think that's Robert being like, nobody's safe in this story. Everybody can die. And I think he's like, that's like a little seed being like, so Rick might die. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Who knows?
Those are reviews for this week. We got a Batman 22, Paper Girls 14, Batman Conquest number 1, Secret Empire number 1, Bullseye number 4, and The Walking Dead 167. That's more. That's one more than 166.
Sold.
You heard it here first, folks.
If you want to hear what comes out next week, tune in next week for our forecast, where Alex is a weatherman and Garrett is the traffic reporter. Sometimes I talk so fast that my mouth is ahead of my brain.
Oh, you noticed that too?
Which usually is most of the time, but eventually gets there. And usually it's a nice mistake. Controller, you're the traffic controller.
I'll control that traffic. Red lights.
I thought you were an anchor last week.
Except me. Huh?
I thought you were the anchor
You're
last
the
week.
fucking anchor.
No, I'm the
Tell me the
meteorologist.
The weatherman?
Yeah, I'm a meteorologist.
No, you're not a meteorologist. You're just a weatherman. You're not trained.
Yeah.
You're the guy who stands in front of the screen. That's like actually like in Los Angeles.
Over here.
That. They actually don't have meteorologists. They just have weather people because it's like sunny every day.
Right.
So they don't need somebody who knows things about tornadoes and storms.
And it's like here in South Dakota, it's going to be 30 degrees.
Yeah, you need
40
somebody.
Degrees,
You need
50
somebody.
degrees. It might be one of those, but we're still right.
You need somebody who knows what they're doing up here. Rainbow Comics and Cards. Looking for comic books, collectibles, board games, or any sports memorabilia or sports cards. The only place you need to shop in Sioux Falls or Lincoln, Nebraska. Visit their Facebook page, facebook.com/Rainbow Comics and Cards, or their Lincoln location at Rainbow Comics and Cards, Lincoln. Or find them online anytime at rainbowcomicsandcards.com.
No! So here we are, a thief, one thug, a green mean machine, a maniac, and an angry little tree.
Hold on.
So we're saving the galaxy again? Well, who else is gonna do it?
The Guardians cannot protect the galaxy.
Now let's talk about
Nobody knows what they're doing.
let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, and starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Michael Rourke, Karen Gillan, Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell, and Sean
a
Gunn.
bunch of other people.
Sean Gunn is in a lot in this movie too.
What does Kira Gillan? What else is she in? Because I can't think of what her face actually looks like.
She's in Doctor Who. She's been in Doctor Who for a while. She's not anymore, but she was for a while. Before we get into spoilers, I think for like 10 minutes we can talk about the movie in generality and not get into spoilers, and then we can break into spoilers. So let's just go around and say, Alex, did you like or not like this movie? In a general sense.
Overall, yes, I enjoyed this movie. I don't know if I enjoyed it more than number one. There were things I liked, but there's something original about number one that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I would say I enjoyed it, and just because all I've been hearing is people comparing 1 and 2, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just thinking of 2 on its own. I enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed it.
It took a different turn than I was expecting, so that was nice.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay, that's spoiler territory. That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say actually I do, and I know you said you don't want to compare, but I'll compare. I actually think I do like this one more than 1.
Really?
I think because 1 actually has like a generic villain plot, like the stuff with the characters in number 1, it was all good, and then it devolves into like, let's defeat this bad guy who is a nobody character in this movie. And I think 2 actually did a better job of having a villain in the movie, so I like 2 better. I think Chris Pratt is great in this movie. Dave Bautista is amazing.
Yeah, he's changed. I mean, you can tell he's done some work. Like he's really good.
Vin Diesel, his nuance is amazing. I am Drew.
Oh, jeez.
They even had a family quote in this movie. Oh, spoilers, whatever.
Yeah, we're all family. Batista says that.
When Batista says that, I was just like,
it would have been actually better if Baby Groot had
They
said
give
it.
Zoe Saldana way more to do in this movie than the first movie. The first movie, she like barely says anything in that movie. In this one, she's like,
still sexy as hell.
Overall, though, I did like it a lot. And it actually might cement itself in top 5 Marvel movies for me, I think.
This was a lot more heartfelt than I was expecting, with all the jokes that you hear in the commercials. This was, you know what? I don't know. I really liked this movie. I just don't know if it's better than 1 for me.
You know how we were all worried that all the jokes were going to be in the trailers? There were still plenty.
Yeah, and there were some,
and a lot of them were from Batista.
And there were some of them actually were in the trailer. They had a joke, but in the movie it was different.
Slightly. There was like the one with like the bomb with Groot and everything, and I still laughed like I did when I watched the trailer.
What I do like about this movie is that, you know, we talked about on our movie show, 2017 movie preview. I was like, I said about Guardians, I go, maybe I just need to go to this movie and just, whatever it happens, if it's an action movie, it'll be an action movie. If it's a comedy, it's a comedy. I don't know how funny it's going to be. I don't know how much action it's going to be. So I went with that mindset. Just whatever the movie's going to show me, I'll judge it based on that. What it's aspiring to be, rather than what I expect it to be. And I actually think that I did like it the way it came out. And it is mostly a comedy, but like you said, and eventually it becomes like this heartfelt thing that I like actually think it has way more heart than the first movie. Even though the first movie does have some heart, but it's like the first one, there's like a moment, I think, at least. And this one, I was just like, there is probably a good 30 minutes where I was like,
to me, 2 had a roller coaster. There were these serious heartfelt moments. Then there was we broke the tension by making the joke, or here was, you know, some funny thing that happens. Honestly, probably the stronger movies too, because there's more context to it.
And me and Gary were talking about this outside before he came in, that I do like that we were talking, or at least I was talking about on the show, that Marvel is really going to get out of this rut. Like, it's usually like, oh, this team gets together, or this team does something, and then, they meet a bad guy, the bad guy wants something, they fight the bad guy to defeat the bad guy. It's like the same story over and over again.
Right.
And this movie, for at least like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, it doesn't go into that kind of story. It's basically Guardians of the Galaxy on a mission, them hanging out, them, you know, like the results of that mission, and then eventually we get a plot, and even that plot, at least for Marvel movies, is not the same thing that we've seen a million times. Yep. It is different. So like it felt really fresh in a sense that like it was like, I expected basically this movie to be like, you know, like, oh, here's the bad guy, and we're gonna figure out some way to defeat him. It eventually turned out to be that, but the way he got there, I think, was unique.
I honestly was expecting, and I don't know if you guys knew beforehand. I heard that a certain character is going to be in this, but I thought it was going to be more of a Thanos general or lieutenant or somewhere attached to Thanos. That's who the bad guy was going to be.
Well, we talked after the movie actually too when we were leaving the theater. I do like that it's not connected to all that stuff. It's just its own thing.
That's actually its own thing.
Yeah,
right.
I would have hated it to be like, here is basically the prelude to Avengers Infinity War.
Well, there was one thing.
It was, but it was an
5.
Easter egg. It was the thing at the end. It was the credit thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like...
You have to know what it is to understand.
Yeah, and it wasn't like blatantly being like, here's Thanos. It was like, here's somebody that might be showing up that if you knew, he's involved in that story.
Right.
But it was their own contained story. Like, you basically could also just see this movie. I mean, I would go see number 1, but if you went to go see this one by itself, I think the characters are strong enough and James Gunn knows how to write all of them, that all of them are still true to who they want to be. It's not like they've changed at all. Like I told you, I thought Peter was going to become this fucking dope. He didn't turn into dope at all. He's still like good. Mm-hmm. He's still like a good pilot. He's still at the end, he proves himself multiple times, like why he's a good part of that team, rather than just being the guy there for comedy. They're all like, even Batista, even though like you said he's funny in this movie, he still has a necessary part of that team. He's still good at fighting.
I think what I like about this team in general is that to me they actually feel like a team. That there's not. I always thought that Star-Lord was the boss or the leader. No, he's just one of the guys one of the two who flies the plane. So it's not. There's no actual leader. They all have their special. This is what I'm known for. This is what I do. Even he makes mention of it in the movie that you used to use a different weapon, but now you're using the same one I use. Oh, okay. There's nothing unique about that, but hey, to each his own.
So overall, how have we been doing movies? Out of 5? Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I don't know how we've been doing it. I can't remember.
This one's a 9 for me. I would say go see it.
Yeah, 9.
While it's in theaters.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any Marvel movie I would say skip it.
Iron Man 2.
Hey, that's Easter egg hunting. I like it.
I would give it a 9. I honestly would go see this movie again.
I would too.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
9.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. This is
all around.
This is your point of the podcast. If you want to hear spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. But I would jump off here, and we'll see you next week, or skip to the end. You're the end of the show. So full spoilers. One thing I want to say before I forget it, because I keep that to remind myself. So there's a lot of music in this, and I think the music's great in this movie. But there's one thing that they did too much, I think, that kind of bugged me eventually. But eventually the scene won me over. Was that the song would play and it would show them walking in slow-mo. Like every time. Like they were song would play.
That was playing homage to the first one.
But it happens like 6 times.
Twice.
No, it's like at least.
Because every Guardian gets a chance to walk slow-mo.
And people who aren't Guardians.
That become Guardians.
But it's like, I was just like, maybe like, I don't know, you really have to start it the same way every single time. But then eventually every single scene was like unique enough that I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that scene with Yondu and his arrow, like going around when they're escaping the prison. Like I thought that was a fucking great scene.
That was awesome.
Like when it first started and they're all slow mo walking out of there, I was like, oh, this fucking shit again.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, this is fucking badass.
You don't realize how good Rocket and Yondu are together until like they're neck deep in it at the end of that movie. Like they work, like if they're
as a team,
as a team, they work really well together.
You know,
he makes the comment that they are like basically the same person.
Yeah.
Thing.
The thing that also worried me a little bit when we first got in was, even though I love the scene at the beginning where it's Groot dancing instead of Peter this time, I was like, are we really going to have... I hate when sequels just like repeat what happened in the first one. Like, have you ever seen Rush Hour 2? It's like the same jokes, except they change it up. Instead of Jackie saying it, it's Chris Tucker saying it.
Right.
So I was like, oh, the joke is that he says it this time. So I thought they were going to do that in this movie. Be like, oh, the joke is that Baby Groot's dancing this time. And I thought it was going to be a rehash of all the jokes. And I think that's why I hated that walking thing, because it was like, all right, like we know.
Yeah.
But
which actually I liked that Baby Groot was dancing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that opening. That, like I said, everything always started. I was like, oh, this fucking shit again. And then eventually, I was like, this is a good scene.
Yeah.
That scene was great. That intro, and then eventually it turns into the fight, and then you can actually see like all these. Every single one of them were like strong in their own rights, and like you said,
contributing to the end.
Contributing to the scene. It's great.
Even Baby Groot. Actually, I was telling my wife, I was like, he doesn't really he has a lot to do in the movie, but it's not like he's the powerhouse that he was in 1. He has to do his own things, or he's just got to be here's your little job, go do this, but it's important for you to do it.
So the story is Peter's dad comes and says, "Hey, I'm your father.
I'm your papa.
Eagle, the living planet." What do you think of Kurt Russell in this movie? I think he's pretty
Great.
good.
He did awesome.
He did
Good
awesome.
job.
He was actually probably one of my favorite bad guys in this
That's right.
world.
He has charisma up the fucking ass. That guy was like, I don't think there's ever been a bad role where I was like, you know what, Kurt Russell sucks in this movie. Every single movie. Maybe Escape from LA. But I was like, God, that's what I mean by like the villain. Like in this movie, it wasn't that he's a bad guy going after the Guardians, even though there was those people, but they were in the background and always got their thing foiled. But it's like he like tricked Peter into doing it, and then like that twist at the end where he's like, I put that brain tumor in your mom's head. I was just like, that fucking blew my mind.
I know.
I wasn't
that plot twist.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Oh, see, when he goes, I came back 3 times, and I knew if I came back that 4th time, I was never going to leave with that. I'm starting to wonder if you're the one who put that in her. So I mean, I was.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, I was surprised that it was true, but I was just.
I thought maybe that it wasn't actually his dad. It was like somebody pretending to be Eagle, the living planet.
Yeah.
And he didn't come back that one time because he actually died. So that's what I thought. That's where I was going with it. And then eventually it didn't turn out to be that.
I like the fact that it was actually his dad. That it wasn't some doppelganger. It wasn't ego.
Yeah, you're right.
That it was.
It was
literally
necessary
dad
for
did
the
this.
story to be like, it doesn't matter that he's your blood because Yondu's your father because he took care of you.
And it makes it so
Yondu was
more.
his dad. He may have been your father,
Oh, yeah,
but he
his
wasn't
daddy.
your daddy.
It makes it more fucked up. Like, right when the movie opens, you actually see his dad and what's her name, Brandy, or
No,
Peter's mom's name,
That was the song
Tracy.
title.
right?
Tracy.
I think it's Tracy.
Yeah,
Tracy Quill.
I'll look it up.
Pretty sure.
I don't know.
So anyway, they're driving the car.
Whatever. Yeah. So like, and then like you see how much they love each other and whatnot, and there's that plant that ends up being the fucking
Meredith.
seed. Meredith Quill. So it's just like when he says that, you're just like, God, that's so fucked up. But like, this is the perfect case of a villain thinking he's the hero of his own story.
Doomsday. Or
Yeah.
not Doomsday. Dr.
He thought he was doing the right thing. Well,
Right.
the right thing, in his own eyes.
Right.
Also, it's also kind of fucked up that he goes to all these planets and basically
Fucks
seduces
all the
his
chicks.
girls into a false promise just to get a kid out of them, and then he fucking leaves them, and then eventually kills their kids because they don't do anything for him.
Right.
It's just it's a nice allegory for being like he's an abusive father. Like he's in those relationships, he's abusive, basically emotionally abusive to them because he's tricking them the whole time. Like that, he's not with them because he loves them. He eventually falls in love with her, so he's like, well, I got to kill her then. I can't be in love with somebody. But
the reason he can't stay with her is that if he stays away from Ego, the living planet, the planet will die.
yeah, but he came back 3 times.
Yeah.
But
I
he's
know.
like, I'll never come back if I don't kill her.
So fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's fucked. That's what I mean. It's like, that was finally a villain where I was like, it wasn't that he was all powerful. He was all powerful, but it's
Right.
like his power was that like he's Peter's father and he can maybe Peter will see like things his way. Like he can trick him. And
And he would have gotten away with it had he not told Peter that he put that tumor in her.
That's so
that's the thing that snapped him
God,
out. Yeah.
that so pissed me.
Because even he's like, I can get you to get over your friends. That's not a problem. It's I killed your mom.
Damn. And then, like it makes you appreciate like what Yondu did for Peter. He's like, yeah, I know, like the big reveal. That's not the big reveal. You know that Yondu's always had a soft spot for Peter. But fuck, the part where I almost lost is that flashback sequence. Or not the flashback, but when they're in Peter's mind.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then like they flash to Yondu, like
That part got me a
shoot his
little bit,
gun for the first time.
Believe
and
me, at the end of that movie, the last like 20 minutes, they were punching me all over. I was
man.
like, I don't know what was going on. I was like, what are you trying to do? You're just trying to make somebody cry in this movie.
So would you call this, who wants to say the big spoiler? What happens to who? I mean,
What do you mean?
with Yondu.
Oh, he dies.
Yeah, Yondu dies, but like the way they handled it
himself. Yes,
was great.
it was great.
Wait, what?
The way they handle Yondu dying.
Yes.
I also thought
His funeral.
Michael Rourke in this movie was fucking amazing. I was like, God, he's so good. Even like the first movie, he plays up like this like badass thing. He's like, he's like this badass guy. But in this movie, like there's even like nuances being like that he cares for Peter. He's like you said, he's like, I'm your daddy.
Right.
Like I took care of you. Like I did all those things. Like I didn't bring you here because I knew what he would do. and like I took care of you a lot of time. And even though he's a fucking space pirate, he doesn't know how to handle a kid. He did as best as he could. And maybe Peter didn't see that until it was too late, but he didn't care. Like that, he wanted to save Peter still. You know what? Also, I like. I'll give. There's another thing. I mean, this movie's not perfect for me because of small things, and they're all small things, so I wouldn't read too much into them. But also, like whenever they would try to get into a serious moment like that, they would always put a joke, and sometimes I was like, that's not necessary. Like, just let it play out. Like at the end when they're at his wake or funeral before they burn him.
They waited a while though.
Why?
There was a big pause before Batista broke it with.
Oh no, not that.
You're beautiful.
They're all sitting there
on the inside.
No, not that part. When they're all sitting around him, they're all like talking about it. And they're like having a moment, and then Groot just says, "He called me a twig." He says, "I am Groot." And he goes, "Yeah, he did call you a twig." And it's just like a random joke out of nowhere. And it's like,
I didn't think it was a joke. I thought it was he called me a twig. Like he was my friend.
Right.
I didn't see it as.
Right.
I didn't see him as him going. He called me a twig.
The first joke I thought was like what Batista was like when he was talking to the
that
girl.
it was that part too. I was just like
that part. At that time, I was like, okay, it's been like 3 minutes without a joke, so it doesn't make sense.
They felt like there was a timer, and they were like, put a joke in. Sometimes it felt like it was unnecessary, and it kind of fell flat for me. The jokes because they were just like, put a joke in. But whenever there was like a sequence that you can tell was like, it was necessary to be comedic. I thought those jokes like hit.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of payoff in this movie too. Like at the beginning, they said, "Hey, why are you putting on your suit?" to Drax. Oh, my nipples are sensitive, and at the end, he has to put one on. And he right away,
like,
my nipples. It just made me laugh so much because the payoff. I mean,
So that one didn't make me laugh.
well, you're dead inside. That's why.
No, because I mean there were other jokes that actually did make me laugh, but this was just one I was like, eh.
I think it was more the payoff.
I saw that coming from the beginning.
Because at that point, like I kind of forgot about it, and then for it just to happen again, and then you're like, oh, like it's funny because it's unexpected and it's just random.
The one that I thought, and it was a fine joke. He made mention to it before was the Pac-Man rock monster, which I mean didn't bug me. I thought, oh, all right. I was wondering why it was yellow when he started forming the rocks. I thought, okay, I know what it is. Even makes that fucking sound.
Batista's good in this movie. You know what else I was thinking about when I was watching this movie? I was like, you know what? I guess you just got to accept that these aren't the same characters from the books, even though now they're like the movie. But if you go back and read like Dan Abnett and Lanning's run of Guardians, or even like the miniseries that were around that time, there's a Drax mini that's like 6 issues. Drax is like this really smart guy. He's basically Bane. He's like this really smart guy who knows strategy. Like he talks in full sentences. He's fully aware of what sarcasm is. And he wants to kill Thanos so bad because Thanos killed his family. And like he's driven and like it really is this way different character. And then you get this guy, which is like, but they are making a comedy. And when you see, James Gunn probably saw that character and was like, well, he's big and tough. Let's make him to be like the kind of guy who he's not that smart. So you know what I mean? But it's like, but Batista pulls it off so much and the writing's so great for that character that I'm like, all right, you got it. That's him now. It does make me a little bit sad though. I was like,
well, it's disappointing that he's.
Well, that's the whole Marvel universe now. They will favor their characters being like.
But it is like if they had Bane and also Bane turned out to be this type of character.
Right. So you're talking Bane from Dark Knight Rises to Bane from Batman and Robin. Bane.
No, because I actually believe this Drax is still good. The Batman Robin Bane, pure shit.
I'm just saying that intellect-wise.
Yeah, I'd still give the score to
I thought this movie looked beautiful.
Yes.
The colors, everything, like the uniqueness of every world. Especially even the Eagle, like that planet was like so, like the CGI for that planet was amazing.
I love that they gave him a face.
Yes.
That was probably my favorite points for this movie. They gave Eagle a face. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a planet named the Living Planet. No. We gave him a fucking face.
Where would you, let's say, I don't want to even say all of them, but we're in phase 3 right now, right?
Yes.
What did phase 3 start with?
Ant-Man. No, Ant-Man's for phase 2.
Is he? Oh, it's after Age of Ultron. Okay.
So I think Civil War.
Civil War, Doctor Strange, and then this one. So we have 3?
You're missing one in there.
I feel like we're missing one too. No, that's it. I think.
No.
Civil War.
I was pretty sure there's one more.
Doctor Strange. I don't know. Maybe that is only it.
What are you gonna make me choose between those two as my
I
favorite?
was gonna say which one of the Phase 3 is your
I
favorite?
think you get. I need to branch out a little bit farther.
Oh, here we go. Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all three.
If I was gonna go with these, it'd be Guardians is my first.
Guardian, Civil War. I really enjoy Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Nope. I'm gonna go Guardians, Civil War, Doc Strange.
I think for me, I do enjoy Civil War a lot, but I think there's places where it was like a little too convoluted. They could have cut stuff. I do like Doctor Strange a lot, but it's also like they told me they were going to give me a fucking origin story again. That part bugs me a little bit. It's like origin, but it's good.
First on-screen origin.
Yeah, it's good though. I know, but they said there was going to be an origin story. He would have his powers already. That was the promise.
Oh.
Once again, though, expectations versus what they were going to.
Marvel wants new viewers, new readers.
I think if you're talking standalone, I think this one's the best one out of them. However, if you're talking like, if you've been watching these movies forever, I think Civil War is the best because it pays off. But if you're just going to watch, if you're new to the whole game, which, by the way, catch up, I think Guardians 2 would be the one I would be like, hey, you should watch it. Like a random person that's not into these movies, I'd be like, you should watch Guardians 2.
I think if I was to... You're right. Guardians of the Galaxy standalone, great. The only reason I would actually give Civil War even a bigger boost is that they did a great job with Black Panther. I don't care about them fighting. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
And it's still my favorite Spider-Man movie I've seen. Because I think they handled Spider-Man so well.
Actually, I think that proves the theory, right? Because your wife is the only one she's seen out of the three, right? Or in theaters. She came with us.
She saw Civil War with us.
Oh, did she? Okay, never mind.
I was pretty sure. I don't remember seeing Civil War.
I'm wearing the shirt right now. So yeah, it's at the score. Actually, the song. Oh, here's the thing I was gonna say. Talking about the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So we have that moment when he's like, "Use your heart," and he has those flashbacks of his mom and him listening to music. And that part, I was like, "That's sweet," but it doesn't really do anything for me. And then,
that was the one bond they had was sharing that music together. He listens to the music.
I said it's nice and heartwarming, but it doesn't make me cry.
But I feel that he was 8 when she
You're more
died.
of a father-son kind of crier.
But then
not
when
a
him
mother-son
and
crier.
he was teaching him how to shoot the gun, him and Yondu, I was just like, that part I was like, all right, okay. And then he saw him like, there was a bunch of flash with him and Yondu and stuff like that. And I was like,
the Peter Rocket scene? Oh, fuck. I broke down.
Oh,
like,
them flapping?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
flying.
flying.
that too also like Friends stuff. So like that part I was like, okay, well now I'm it's a little sad, but, and then Yondu saves them and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like smiling. And he's like, no, he's like, this is it. And he dies in space while Peter's like crying, like holding him. That part I was just like, all right, okay. Now the level went up to like, it went from like a 2 to now I'm at a 4. And then his funeral shot me up to like an 8. When they're talking words, being like, he's like, he was my father the whole time. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. And then afterwards he gives him the Zune, which is fucking hilarious. And then he plays Father or Son by Cat Stevens. And I was like, shit's going to 10 now. What are you doing? But, however, caught myself. We don't need another situation of me crying.
You were like, this isn't the vision. This isn't the vision.
I did. I was like, if I look at this, I actually looked away because I was like, if I like take this in anymore, I'm going to be crying here in the middle of all you guys. So like, I looked away and I was like,
See, I didn't share that heartfelt. The things that made me sad were the animated characters. When Rocket tears up, I was like, oh.
Surprisingly, Rocket and Groot didn't seem like they were friends this movie at all.
Groot spent so much time away from him and he actually spent more time being with everybody else too. Because I like that scene where Peter's sitting listening to the Zune, and Groot comes up to sit on his lap, and he wants to hear. I was like, oh
yeah, they're all taking care of him. It's basically,
I mean, he's a baby.
Yeah.
And I like finally the whole movie. All you see is Drax and him, mostly Groot, trying to punch Drax. He falls asleep on Drax's shoulder. Oh, and I'm a wuss. When Groot got stuck in the earth, when Ego is starting to crush him, and he cries, I about cried right there.
Yeah, that part got me a little bit too. Some of his like,
I realized they're not going to kill Groot off, but it's just one of those.
Some of his facial expressions, stuff like that, reminded me of my son, and I was like,
And when
Made me feel extra
when the bad guy, the pirates were beating up on him and pouring shit on him.
Pouring beer on him, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's when I was actually hoping that.
Did you get mad during the pouring? Actually,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
at that part I saw, then I was like, I was getting mad. And I was like, but you anything, Alex is like fucking steaming right now.
I was expecting Groot to like shove his fingers up some guy's face and like kill him.
Well, he was trying to. Remember that one time and then they kicked him?
Well, it was one of those things. Like, I don't know what if it was just that he's a little kid or that I just like Groot a lot. I always wished Rocket would have gotten out and just beat the shit out of everybody. And I know he does eventually. I mean, he beat the shit out of everybody in the forest.
Yeah.
By the way, I do like, speaking of expectations versus what we're given, I, in my head, going, like, seeing all the stuff for this movie. Pastrana style. Provolone style. I thought that, prosciutto style. I thought that maybe they would play up being like, oh, he's a baby, but he's got a huge gun. Like, you know, like,
Right.
oh, that's comedy. Like, you know, you're define expectations, and that's what's funny about it. But they actually do keep him less like he's
Right.
the baby. And the comedy was more like, look how cute he is.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. I like that.
The one thing I didn't get even this movie is where's that Peter and Gamora kiss?
No, we're working it.
You don't want rates to go down. They need that box office up.
What do you mean want rates to go down? Bullshit.
They talk about
At least,
Oh,
at least
good
you
point.
agreed. There's something there.
Well, yeah.
You brought up another thing that it was also like on my tick box that was like every time it got brought up, I was like, I didn't like it. I do know that, like, I know he's obsessed with pop culture, but I felt like they try to cram that in way too much rather than just letting something be natural. Like when he brings up to her the Cheers thing. You've been with this team for however. She doesn't understand this shit. Like, why are you bringing it up to her?
He's introduced her to dancing and all the other stuff. So,
I know, but
Which she's naturally graceful in.
but she doesn't like to.
I know. That's what bugged me, though.
But he, like, when in the first movie, when he talks about Dirty Dancing, he, you know, explains it and then explains who Kevin Bacon is. And, like, he's this hero of this town. Whereas this one, he's just like, you know, Cheers, ratings. And it's just like, she doesn't understand. Explain it.
But I have a thought that, and this might be ridiculous. What if he actually has like a season of Cheers and it's actually on the spaceship? It's on.
Well, she's obviously never seen it.
Well, but maybe she has and she just doesn't give a shit.
Nebula was good in this movie. I don't want to cut you off, but
Fuck you.
As he cuts you off.
I forgot she was in this movie.
I'll let
She's
you
good.
finish, but Beyonce had the best video of
Go ahead.
all time.
Right.
If I didn't say it, then I would forget it. What were you saying? So Cheers, they have it on the ship.
No.
No,
What season?
I,
One?
She even says that.
No,
she doesn't know
know.
what
she
she's saying.
knows.
I know.
Nebula, I thought was good. I like the her and Gamora storyline in this movie where they resolve that. Obviously, that was a hint towards Infinity War. She's probably gonna help them out. She does in Infinity Gauntlet. Spoilers for that book, but
I liked the whole, you know, in Avengers 1 when they all six come together and they do that around the table, look at everybody getting their guns ready or getting their arrows ready or whatever. They're in the middle of Ego and they're, you know, doing that. Look at the team. It's like,
Right.
I really like that. And that's a good team to have. Because I tell you what, Yondu, fucking scary.
Yeah. That's kind of funny that his little first mate or whatever is learning how to use the arrow now and he fucking sucks at it.
Sean Gunn, yeah, that's funny. That's not his name of the movie. That's who the actor is.
Right.
James
Gotta
Gunn's
see-
brother.
Yeah, we got to see the Watchers for the first time.
Oh yeah, that little Stan Lee cameo. I actually didn't like that cameo that much, but I do like the Watchers in it.
Well, all the buzz behind Stan Lee's cameo now is that it's Stan Lee playing Stan Lee in his actual
Yeah.
life. So that's why when he was bringing up his first job, like that was his actual first job in real life, his Farrell's job.
Okay.
If you wanted to know why he was talking about Farrell's,
No, I didn't care. I honestly,
Wow.
as much as I like Stan Lee to an extent, but I don't need him in every movie.
He didn't even create the Guardians of the Galaxy. So
What do you mean Farrell's? He didn't bring that up, did he?
Yeah, he says
He
my
was
first
saying-
job was at Farrell's.
He was saying I was a FedEx delivery in one of them.
No, first job was at Farrell's. You hear him say it
No. Well, you also
to the watch.
Garrett saw Thanos in this movie. Nobody else did. So we'll see if that's true.
Because everyone was watching the fucking spaceship and you're not looking at the bottom of the floor. of the
I looked
planet.
I even looked
They
at the two guys.
they looked
It
at
was
the
like
two
two big
guys.
blue
It
dudes.
It was Thanos. Yeah, because everyone has gold and purple armor.
I didn't
And
see
he's a
gold and
giant
purple. I saw
beating
blue
the shit
and-
out of somebody else.
So we all liked it, right? Nine.
Yeah,
Nine.
9.
Crazy nines all around. Is that what they call them?
You know what? You know what? My favorite parts of this movie was actually the beginning, and it wasn't just the dancing group part. It was that there's this big monster, this big job to do that didn't take precedence over everything else. I got that. Yes, he stole the batteries, but even that was like, whatever. Well, it wasn't to the
Right.
sovereign, but it was just that's what I want from a Spider-Man movie. Where, and I don't want it to be where he's fighting just thugs. I want it to be, oh, I'm fighting the Shocker. and I just take them out. Not a problem.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. Is that here's this big to do, but we're not going to make it a big deal. It's you fought him, you won, done.
Yeah, they're working as a team. Would have been nice to see some Nova Corps in this movie, though. I felt that was missing.
Well, they went to Xandar, and you saw the Nova Corps, one of the planes, as the Expanse was going.
But I mean, not even get a little John C. Reilly action. Come on.
Oh, I didn't know how this machine worked.
Yeah,
I thought they would show up.
Yeah, I thought
to
they would
fight.
show up. But they
the
didn't.
They
Sovereign.
didn't need to necessarily show up, but it would have been nice to have even like Glenn Close be like, "What the fuck are those Guardians doing now?" Like,
Or one of the
something like
galaxies that they passed real quick.
Yeah, like John C. Reilly like looks up and he's like,
Oh.
"Fucking a-holes" or something. I don't know.
We'll get them eventually. Eventually, you'll probably be sick of the Nova Corps. They're probably waiting to flesh that out with whoever they decide to do, Richard or Sam.
Dick Rider.
They're definitely gonna do Sam. You're right.
Yeah, they're going to do Sam.
They're not gonna do Richard.
That has been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Came out tonight as a preview. I guess they call them, what is it? It's not really official release date. It's a little sneak preview. Tomorrow, official release date. Go see it. Actually, this comes out Sunday.
Talking about the premiere.
No, it didn't premiere. Tomorrow's the premiere.
Well, it technically came out
Today's the premiere. It came out today.
in a minute.
Oh yeah,
12
Friday.
a.m. right now.
So you had the whole weekend to go see it. If you didn't see it, go see it next weekend. It's a good show.
Aces.
If you want to tell us what you thought of the movie, email us at WednesdayComics605@gmail.com. Alex, WednesdayComics605@gmail.com. You can follow Garrett at Garrot2188. That's GAROT 2188.
I can see that embolism
Follow
forming
Alex
in your brain.
at Alex Pastrello. That's Alex Pastrello on
Need
Twitter.
that as an alarm clock.
Make sure to tweet at Alex how many different P words you can. Pastrami, prosciutto,
I
provolone.
think prosciutto is with a B.
Prosciutto?
Is it prosciutto? I'm pretty sure it's like
Oh my god!
Bruschetta.
Just keep going.
Power adapter.
Oh, God.
You can follow me at Marvin_Salguero. SALGUERO.
I think you're thinking Bouchelato.
that might be it.
You can Bouchelato. You can follow me or follow the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. Please don't follow me on Facebook. You can
He has less followers than we do on our Wednesday Comics page.
you can actually, you know what I did? I'll talk about it after that. Follow us on iTunes, rate, review, subscribe. Take 5 seconds, please, and leave us a star review. Every time you leave a rating, Alex grows wings. And then he cuts them off. You can't have them out.
Yeah.
So
It's embarrassing.
you heard him a little bit every time you do it. Follow us on Stitcher Radio, Google Play. I mean, we're all over the place. Whatever you have, Android, iPhone, you can listen to it anywhere. Apple Mac, Windows computer,
Probably a Zune.
Zune, you probably can listen to on. No, we're not in the Windows marketplace. Oh, actually, no, we are. Never mind. We'll be at SuperCon May 12th through the 14th. Go on that Saturday. We'll be there, you boys in blue.
So May 13th.
Yeah. We'll be there the 13th.
Free Comic Day has already happened. Hope it was a good one for you guys by the time you listen to this. We were there. If you saw us, shook our hands.
We were first in line, so got all the books I wanted except for the ones that was the title of one of our shows.
X23. You can also go to Rainbow Comics and Cards to get any of these issues that we talked about this episode, or any of the issues on the forecast. Comes out every Wednesday. Let you know what I get. You can also go to rootsoftheswampthing.com. You want to know some more about the green. Know about some Swamp Thing. Get in the know about this Swamp Thing thing with its Justice League Dark movie comes out eventually. People are gonna be like, "Who's the Swamp Thing?" You already know. You went to rootsoftheswampthing.com. You already figured it out.
You already know.
What I was gonna say actually was that like 2 years ago I went through a purge on Facebook and I cut everybody loose. So now I'm at a good number.
Yeah,
I've done that before. I even do it in my phone. Just cut people
Because I
out.
saw it and I was like, I do not know that many people. Now I looked at it and I was like, who have I talked? If I talked to them in the last month, they were good. If I haven't, cut loose. I cut them loose.
I would have a lot of non-friends.
Cut them loose. What the hell do you need to be friends with them for? I'll cut you two loose too, any day.
Of course.
yeah. You only talk to us daily.
It's weird when I have a day that I don't actually hear from you guys.
Hey, you know something about that too? Sometimes you guys, I post something in, this is going to this is a look into Marvin's psyche. Sometimes I post something to our group chat, and you guys don't give me the response that I want, or you don't respond at all. So I'm like, Twitter, here we come, baby.
There are days you send things to us that are just like, you send us that McGriddle thing. I didn't even acknowledge that you sent that picture to us.
I can only handle so much stupid in 48 hours. So when I see too much,
Well, you don't read any
back.
of our conversations. You just skip past it.
No.
There's been
Well,
some-
yeah, the stupid stuff where you guys are basically metaphorically fucking each other in your chat.
And if you want more stupid stuff, visit us next week on Wednesday Comics 46. I've been Marvin.
246. I've been Alex.
I would say I'm Garrett, but I'm in some fucking astral plane where this shit makes sense.
Boom, you know it. Hey, everyone, keep turning those pages.